Welcome back. This week's episode is 206, Halloween, and I've been looking very much forward to this because this is one of our classics. This also won the Best Emmy for directing for one Mr. Michael Spiller. He did a fantastic job on it, but it's also just a perfect script. The cast is in its highest form. I mean, this episode will be a top 5 episode. Um, I remember a ton about it. I remember the family together. I remember us falling out with laughter for Sophia line. I remember one of the biggest regrets I have about not scaring Julie, but we'll go into all that once we get into the episode. So let's just jump into Halloween 206. All right. Let's do some stuff today. Man, I'm looking forward to this one.
Oh, hi, honey. Breakfast will be ready in a minute. Ah! My hand! Ah!
Very funny, Mom. I know it's Halloween. Nice fake hand.
We love Halloween, especially Claire.
It's my favorite holiday. Ever since I was a kid, I loved scary things. If there was a new horror movie in town, I was the first in line. One, please. I meant Phil.
2, please.
A great opening. Just a perfect opening. Didn't have to use special effects. There was no blood or anything. That was just 2 prop hands for that we provided. The stump for us, and then the 2 please for his little stump right there. Cut a hole. Complete props construction. No special effects was needed for that. And just a great open. We also had a fake knife on that table. You can tell it's slightly discolored, so you can tell it was a fake knife.
Check it. I'm a scary black cat.
The only person that costume scares is me. Go change it.
To what?
I don't know. One of your old costumes. Honey, trust me. I am.
Check it. I'm a scary black cat. We would do this all the time at work. Check it. We would say that. The first few years we got rid of it, but that line absolutely killed us. The outfit, the costumes came up with her perfect. It would horrify any mother. But yeah, and Sarah's delivery was absolutely spectacular. Check it. I'm a scary black cat. I mean, yeah. Once that happened, there was a good weeks where we were like, check it. I'm this. Check it. I'm that. Just awesome job. And the outline, the only costume that's scaring is me.
Sparing you an entire day of guys asking you if you have a rough tongue.
Ew.
I was totally blindsided. I guess somewhere along the way, she stopped finding me delightful.
Well, that's coconuts. You're super delightful.
Judy.
All right,
She
let's
used to
look at
laugh
this.
everything I had to say, but now I can't even remember what her laugh sounds like.
Claire can do it. So that's coconuts.
All
You're
right,
super
so
delightful.
let's look at this. This is actually fantastic, and I never noticed it before. Look at Phil's work shirt. You never see this on television, by the way. Ever do you see this on television? But up here, it's got a couple of little holes. There's fraying around the stitch here. There's fraying around the collar. Costumes went to a very a lot of effort to make this look worn, and everything you see in the show, unless it's supposed to be, oh, they're getting out of a ditch, and so they put fake dirt on and stuff like that. But rarely does anybody put attention to detail in and let that shirt look so worn and so beat up, like it was Phil's work shirt. That's what he puts on when he's working around the house and stuff. It's such a wonderful little detail that you just easily breeze by me, and I've seen this episode, at least once or twice. And you just don't notice it until you really stop and look. And it's perfect because you don't see that on television. You don't see that kind of detail and that kind of work, and it just goes to show that our costume department was, again, top notch, as was our crew.
Not to Judy. She used to laugh at everything I had to say, but now I can't even remember what her laugh sounds like.
Claire can do it. It's
I should go back inside. I have a dish to wash.
okay, but hey,
Dish to wash.
Jerry, if you need anything, all right? I'm your rock.
Matt Besser. Oh, that's me. So that's me
Hey, but
triggering
hey,
that.
Jerry, if you
It was a skeleton that had just a long wire. You push a button, it flops up, and scares Phil. Now, when we talk about my biggest regret, it was the night out exterior where we're getting ready to do it. We have the whole family there, and we have Julie there, and Julie's walking through and looking around at all the set dressing that our set deck department did, which was again phenomenal. And she comes up and she got right in front of the skeleton, and I was sitting there with the button, and I was just I thought about it and I was like and Toby, who was actually our B camera focus puller at the time, he actually moves on to become B camera in the later seasons. I was like, push it. And I would have, but once during a rehearsal when we were just fixing and making sure everything worked, I hit that button and it flipped up and the head flew off and went flying across the yard. And I was like, oh, we gotta attach that. So I went over and grabbed it, and we attached it on really well. But that is the only reason I didn't trigger it when Julie was right there, is because I could just see that head flying off, smashing her in the nose, breaking her nose, and then, we're just done for the day. Julie's hurt, blood everywhere. And so that's why I didn't do it, but it's still one of my biggest regrets because it would have been hysterical because she was right up on it, looking at it, being like, well, this is weird. Is this the skeleton that Phil gets scared of? And all I had to do was trigger it, and she would have screamed, and it would have been amazing. Yeah. If that head hadn't flown off, this would be a much different story. But yeah, I just couldn't do it in good conscience. But I remember Toby sitting there going, hit it. Trigger it, hit it. I was like, oh man, I wish I could.
you need anything, all right? I'm your rock.
Good job, I feel there.
You
Ty.
are not gonna believe this.
I love this
Judy
follow
just
in.
left Jerry.
Oh, yes, she was so unhappy. Why, Cam? Why? What happened that is so awful you simultaneously can't speak of it and yet can't stop talking about it?
I can't, it's too emotional.
Okay, some other time.
I was 10,
Okay.
dressed as Quasimodo on a front porch with my best friend Timmy Regler, a Ghostbuster. There was a bucket of candy with a sign. It said, take one.
One.
Timmy took the entire bucket and put it in his bag. Timmy didn't play by the rules. It's what I liked and feared about it.
Feared about it.
Then the bag broke as a crowd of kids rounded the corner, saw the pile of candy. Timmy said, Cam did it.
Trick or treat!
Oh, good. Aren't you glad you got that out? Okay, everybody, our first victims. This is not a rehearsal. You ready?
Yes, yes.
Come in, if you dare.
Voice modulator, that's great.
Dad.
Oh, let me see.
Thank you for joining us on our...
No. First the thunder and the lightning.
Yeah, right, I got it.
Perfect.
Thank you for joining us on our special night.
Other children haven't fared so well.
Welcome to your nightmare. Ha 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 ha.
What the hell is that?
Can we...
All right, so we're rehearsing, getting everybody together before we shoot the scene, and everybody's going through their parts. Crew's watching because we have to get marks when you rehearse. You mark where every actor is. That way, camera knows where they're at. Focus pullers can get focus marks. That way, they know, because when you're pulling focus, your response, it's not an auto lens like this is. See how I'm always in, this is always adjusting to make this in frame, in picture, clear. That's the focus puller's job. So they have to mark certain spots on the ground so they know to turn the focus to those spots once the actor hits it so that they're always clear and they're not fuzzy. So we're going through this. Everybody is watching the rehearsal, and Sophia breaks out that line, "Welcome to your nightmare, ha 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 ha." And to a man, every one of us falls out laughing. It is the funniest thing. We talked before, there's a handful of times where the crew broke, just absolutely busted up and broke. The first one was, I think, really was Hawaii with Phil and Jay on the hammock. But this is the second one. This Sophia's reading was absolutely genius, and we're like, she's not gonna do it that way, right? There's no way, and it is perfect and hysterical, and it works so well. But yeah, that was a absolute favorite by the crew, and I remember all of us to the point where we rehearsal stopped for the crew to get their stuff together so that we could continue. Actually, this whole sequence right here, which was probably a pretty good portion of the day, was hard to get through. The cast was laughing because it's such a well orchestrated, well written, well directed, well acted, just funny piece. Everything rolls from one piece into the next, and this scene it's the reason that it won the Emmy. It's the reason that it's a classic, because this scene is absolutely perfect. But man, oh man, I remember that rehearsal vividly, and how good Sophia was and how we all just died laughing.
Other children haven't fared so well.
Welcome to your nightmare, ha 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 ha.
What the hell is that?
Can we just get our candy?
Okay.
But beware of the fog, for you might not be able to see ahead.
Boo. Timmy started running. I wanted to run too, but my hunch got stuck on a rose bush, and that's when I fell. I fell hard.
I can see his feet.
Trick or treat! We should just put out a bowl of candy and have a cocktail, right?
Yeah.
Come in, if you dare. Thank you for joining us on our special night.
The fog, special effects.
Hey.
She's doing it.
Welcome to your nightmare. No. No.
With all this fog, it might be hard to see ahead.
Yeah. We're back in the game. Let's go. That was for you. That was for you. I just did it for
The last jump scare on that thing. This is interior exterior, so the interior was done on stage, and then the exterior was done at the exterior of the house, which is somewhere completely different. So that's why you'll see this curtain hung up over here over the doorway, because the stairwell, if you look just directly onto the house, we did build the house that way. It was a stairwell going up, but the rest of the house looked completely different. So you hang stuff so that you can obscure what the interior of that house looked like, because it was different than what we built on stage. But just a shout out to Set Deck. Our set decorator and our set decoration team for doing a beautiful job, both interior and exterior. This was a heck of a set, and I remember the cast being really impressed when they walked onto it too. I mean, just absolutely top notch. We always, when we did our Halloween episodes, it's always hard on costumes, it's hard on set decoration, it's hard on hair and makeup, and it's actually a fairly easy episode for props, because a few stump hands, a little bit of candy, for the most part, maybe some flashlights for kids as they walk down, and trick-or-treat bags and pumpkins and stuff like that. But for the most part, it's not bad. It's those other departments that get to shine, but also have a lot of work to do. So I wanted just to say hats off to all those departments, because they did fantastic work from start to finish here. It's just a perfect, great episode.
you.
Oh, And one time she says, "Don't choke or I'll have to give you the Hindenburg maneuver."
Oh, one time she caught me staring off and she goes, "Come, what's wrong? You look like a deer in headlights."
In the service, I had a job, briefly, handling explosives.
I use this all the time,
which
by the way.
sounds dangerous, but it's not. You store them at the right temperature, you have no problems.
If you tell her she doesn't have a choice, she'll say, "Don't you give me an old tomato." Or when she's...
Okay, enough! You try speaking in another language. Everybody out of my house!
Until you do.
Until you do. We use that. I still use that every day. You don't have a problem until you do. It's because of that line right there and that tag. That tag is just absolutely perfect, and Gloria's perfect into it. Just her explosion, and everybody's like, "Oop." You push things too far, and you don't have a problem until you do. I love this episode. This episode ends up in my top 10. I think it is absolutely perfect from start to finish. Every department in the crew hitting on all cylinders. Jeffrey wrote a fantastic script. Spiller directed the hell out of it. And the cast just went for it and knocked it out of the park. This absolutely was our Emmy winner, and it was well deserved in my opinion, because man, oh man, was it a good episode. Tell me what you think. This is a good one. If you would like, subscribe, pass it on. There's other people that probably love this episode, and if you know them, maybe they'll enjoy this content. But thank you for watching this with me and taking the journey, because this was fantastic. This was one that I was looking forward to. But next week we'll be back at it, so tune in and join me. But until that time, see ya.